This is the 2014 Infiniti QX80. It's the largest car in the Infiniti lineup, and it really competes in its space against a couple of different manufacturers. I would say that it is very competitive with a Cadillac Escalade, a Lexus GX, and a Range Rover. And before we get started, let's take a look at this particular QX80. It is fully loaded. It's an all-wheel drive, and it has almost every single option on it. Price tag on this particular car is about $80,000, but the QXs start in the 60s. So, what makes this car so special? It has everything. Technology package, deluxe touring package, 22-inch wheels, all the fun stuff. Under the hood of the QX80, you'll find a V8 engine. Now, it is a 5.6-liter gasoline direct injection engine, and it rates at about 400 horsepower, 413 foot-pounds of torque, with a towing capacity of up to 8,500 pounds. Now, because it's direct injection, it's very efficient as far as an engine this size goes. It is 14 and 20 miles per gallon city and highway for about 16 mpg combined. So the QX80 comes standard with a rear-wheel drive system. However, this particular QX80 has the upgraded all-wheel drive. It's about a $3,100 difference. When you have the all-wheel drive system, you'll see this selector knob here in the middle below the shift lever. It's equipped with an automatic, a 4-high, and a 4-low mode, and of course a snow and a towing mode. So with all that engine and all that pulling power, you can imagine hooking the QX80 up to a large trailer or a boat. Every QX80 comes underneath this cover with a Class 4 2-inch square hitch and a 7-pin connector, so you can connect all the electronics to your trailer. So let's take a closer look at the dimensions of the QX80. This car is about 208 inches long from tip to tail, about 80 inches wide, and about 76 inches high. So make sure you measure your garage. When you look at its competitors, it fits kind of right in between the Lexus GX, which is about 10 inches longer than, and the Cadillac Escalade, which is about 10 inches shorter than. All of that exterior space, however, translates into a large amount of interior cubic space. So there's about 168 cubic square feet of space on the inside of the vehicle, and that translates into more shoulder and hip room than on most of its competitors. Take a look in the trunk. Obviously, the liftgate is power and can be opened by either the Infiniti Intelligent Key or by a button on the dash. There's about 16 cubic square feet of space in here. Now, these seats are a 60-40 split, and of course they fold down. The convenient part is that they actually do so by use of these electronic switches, which means you can raise and lower them actually quite easily. The deck here has a compartment inside that you can use for muddy shoes, or maybe one carton of eggs that you just got at the supermarket. You don't want them all rolling around. And this area comes with a cargo mat, or I'm sorry, a cargo net, which can be fastened to these D-rings. The new generation QX80 is definitely updated from the old QX56. As you can see, the lines are much curvier, and the car is much more complete. It doesn't really look like a giant box anymore. There is a great separation between the body and the paint and the windows and the cab. As you can see, these pillars are blacked out, and with the tint on the windows gives the car kind of this nice separation between the two parts. The taillights are quite gorgeous, and really the essence of this car is stature. It's very grand, it's large, and it has a lot of presence. So the QX80 is a 7-seater, and it's really designed with the passengers in mind. So one of my favorite features of the QX is when you are going to pick up, let's say, your kids from school, and you know you're going to have a full house, and you need somebody to get into the back seat, there is a convenient button actually from the driver and passenger positions where you can fold these seats up. Check it out. As an adult, I fit back here. I don't think that I would be super comfortable on a very long drive, but if you were just taking me around the corner, it wouldn't be such a big deal. Some of the little features that make it nice back here is these seat backs are actually power, so I can lean them back and lean them forward. There is AC venting that goes all the way into the rear section, so I can breathe back here, which is nice. And these headrests actually pop up and pop down the entire length, so it is actually quite supportive behind my head, but at the same time, when they're not in use, they fold down out of the way. Setting the seat back up is simple enough, and as you can see, the second seats are dual captain's chairs. So let me jump in here. What I love about the QX80 is how comfortable it is for the passengers. And if you have people sitting back here, it's really like sitting in a living room sofa. It's really, the leather is just unbelievably soft and so comfy. I mean, there's like an expanse of space, and it really feels like almost like an armchair. So, as far as space goes, there's plenty of storage space here in the center console. There is cup holders galore. This car has 9 cup holders and 4 bottle holders, which are located in the doors, like in the map pockets. So there's definitely plenty to go around. Again, creature comfort-wise, those AC ducts go all the way throughout the entire cabin, and it is a 3-zone control system, meaning driver and passenger obviously get to control their own temperature and blower speed and everything, but in the rear seat, there is a control module right here, so we can change our own blower speed and obviously temperature. The seats back here are heated as well. Heated seats is something I find myself using almost every day. However, in the QX80, I also find myself using the cooled seat feature, which has perforation in the leather, and it blows kind of cool air up through the seats, which is really great for when it's a hot day. But if you are in the cold, obviously turning on your heated seats and your heated steering wheel makes for a very pleasurable and comfortable driving experience. So to complete that living room experience, let's talk a minute about the theater system. The theater system actually has 3 screens in the car. So I could be watching one movie here, a second movie there, and a third thing on the center dash, which is like the driver's control system. Now, there are, obviously, this runs off of a DVD system, but you can also use a USB key, like a little thumb drive, that's loaded with DivX videos. Or you can use the auxiliary ports. So, located down under here, and also in the center console for the driver, are one of those yellow video, white and red audio ports, and a 12-volt outlet as well, so you can run kind of an external DVD device or some kind of external player of any kind that you have. So let's talk about the creature comforts of the QX80, and let's start here with the Infiniti Intelligent Key. First off, you'll notice there's a remote start button, which is really great if it's a very hot or very cold day. You can start your QX80 while it's still in the driveway and get the climate control system kind of up to speed. Now, while the car is running at a distance, it will remain locked and nobody will be able to jump into the car unless it's you. The key is actually equipped with a sensor inside, so when it's in your pocket or your purse, there is a remote locking and unlocking system, and it's operated by this button here. So when you come up to the car, you can unlock it and jump inside. When you do that, it's a push button start, but you'll notice that when you push the button to engage, it'll actually scoot the seat up and drop the steering wheel into your lap, which is really quite nice. Gives you the maximum area for entry or exit. Now, when you go to fire it up, just go ahead and use the push button on the dash, and when you're all done, you can jump back out of the car, close up the door, and lock it at a touch. So comfort is obviously important in the QX80, but specifically multiple driver comfort. So if you can imagine having 2 drivers of this particular car, let's say one of them is 5'2" and the other one is 6'5". Well, each of them would have their own Infiniti Intelligent Key, and all of their settings like steering wheel and seat and side mirrors and all that stuff would be programmable to their key. So when they unlock the car, the seat will automatically jostle itself into position for either the short person or the very, very tall person, which is really quite convenient. It saves a lot of kind of readjustment and time. So by now you're getting an idea of how large the QX80 really is, but that presents a pretty obvious challenge. How do you move it around and park it in an everyday world? So Infiniti came up with a pretty intelligent solution. They took the backup camera and expanded on the idea. So there are actually 4 cameras all the way around the vehicle, and the 4 cameras are integrated together. The computer system uses them to give you a full 360-degree top-down bird's eye view of what's going on. So here you can see another one, and in the front, again another, by the emblem here. So these are very wide-angle cameras, and they all give like a very, very good view of what's going on around the car. And what the system does is it actually kind of merges their field of view so that you can really see everything around. Now that's complemented by a object motion kind of alert system. So as something is moving around the car, like let's say a dog or a person or a kid or a bicycle or anything like that, when you see on the screen, it'll actually highlight what's going on and really draw your eye to it. So when you go and put the car into reverse or you start parallel parking it, it's really very easy to see what's going on around you just at a glance. You'll see that this is actually the parallel parking mode. So this shows you just your right curb and gives you an idea with these yellow and green lines as to where the boundaries of the car are. So when you go to parallel park, let's say you're on PCH in Laguna Beach on a busy Sunday morning getting brunch, then it'll take you a lot less time to park the car when you can see what you're doing. The QX80 with the tech package is equipped with what's called distance control assist. So it will be monitoring the road, looking in front of you for a car that is slowing down or coming to a stop. And if you're not paying attention for whatever reason, let's say you're texting on your phone, which nobody does, then it will bring the QX80 down to a halt all by itself to really keep the car in one piece. But it doesn't just stop there. It also goes to the sides of the car. So using the front and rear sensors, the QX80 can tell if there is somebody sitting in your blind spot, and it will warn you when you're trying to change lanes. So let's say you're driving, you go to turn your signal on. What you'll see in here is there is a small light that will fire up and blink at you rapidly to let you know, hey, someone is in your blind spot, please don't change lanes. But what happens if you decide, I'm going to do it anyway? If you do, the car will actually coast you back into your lane to keep you from getting into a collision with somebody else. And that goes for veering out of your lane as well. That front-mounted sensor will actually keep an eye on the lines on the road, and let's say if you drift asleep or something like that and you start kind of coasting out of your lane, it will gently guide you right back into position. If you remember the backup camera system, yes, it comes with a 360-degree view and audible sensors to let you know when you're backing up into something, but with a tech package, you also get something called backup collision intervention. So the QX80, when you're pulling out of a spot, will actually stop itself if it finds that somebody is crossing behind you. So let's say you're parked at Costco and you've got 2 big SUVs on either side and you really kind of can't see very well as to like that lane of traffic. You can kind of rest assured that the QX80 will actually save you from a mishap all by itself. A world's first invention for the Infiniti QX80 was the hydraulic body motion control system. Now, this particular QX80 has it, but the system is available as part of the deluxe touring package. What it means is that the suspension system in the car is actually interlinked, so all 4 of the shocks and struts are actually talking to each other. The point is to minimize body roll from side to side and also the kind of up and down that you would experience with a very rough or pothole-laden road. Now, the way it does it is when you're driving in the car and you turn to the left, for example, what's going to happen is the car is going to want to lean to the right in the opposite direction. This is totally normal. The body rolls over, right? When that happens, the shock systems will stiffen up on that appropriate side to keep the car actually level, right? So the feeling as an occupant, you still get the same kind of lateral G-force, but you don't get this tipping over sensation like you're out of control. And it really lends to a very confident driving experience, especially when you're driving such an intensely large vehicle. The other thing that it does is it gives it a glass smooth drive. So while you're going over some of the worst streets in California, it's actually very plush and very compliant and very quiet inside. So as a total package, the hydraulic body motion control system is definitely one to look for. And again, it's part of that deluxe touring package. So keep that in mind. Inside the QX80 is the Infiniti advanced airbag system. So 2 dual stage airbags come from the driver and passenger dash. They are speed sensitive, so there are weight sensors in the seats that let the system know how fast to inflate and deploy the airbags. There are also supplemental side airbags that pop out from the side, and roof curtain airbags that go all the way through all 3 rows. Safety doesn't just start with the airbags, though, it also starts with the seat belts. So equipped in this car are load pretensioners, meaning that when you're clipped into the system, the seat belts will automatically snug you up in the case of an imminent collision to keep you kind of like prepared in the right seating position. The idea is this: you don't want to be sitting here sitting forward when your airbag deploys, because obviously you're going to be moving forward and it's going to be moving out. You want the seatbelt to kind of snug you back up into position, so when the airbag comes out, it's actually catching you as you're going into it. So if you choose to use a child seat in the back of the QX80, you have 2 choices: the captain's chairs, either of which is equipped with the latch anchor system. So you put the seat in and you can actually zip those anchors right into place, and it keeps the seat snug and free from jostling around. Now, the QX80 has really every safety feature that you could possibly imagine. All of the sensors like anti-lock brake system, the traction control system, vehicle slip, all of that good stuff, and of course tire pressure monitoring system. Personally, one of the coolest gadgets on here is the distance control assist, which uses this sensor in the front to measure the distance between you and the car in front. So if they slow down incredibly and you're about to hit them, the vehicle will actually help stop you if you're not paying attention, for example. Or when you're using the intelligent cruise control, it will change the speed of your car based on the traffic that's flowing in front of you. As far as operation goes, we'll cover kind of both topics, like how to use the system using the touchscreen interface and the control panel, and then how to use the system with your voice. Using the system with your voice is obviously much more common when you're driving around looking for things, whereas the panel is much easier to use when you're at a stop. Let's start with the panel. The screen, like I said, is a touchscreen interface, and it is complemented by this control wheel here. Obviously, zooming in, zooming out, and then panning up and panning down. This button kind of works in all directions, and then you push to select. All of the buttons here that are labeled really never change. They don't have any kind of variable functions or anything like that, which makes it really easy. So every time you push map, it goes to the map. Every time you push destination, it takes you there. Having that touchscreen and control panel kind of interface gives you kind of more flexibility in how you want to use the system. Let's say we're entering a street address. You can either say, okay, I want to go to 123 Main Street, or you can use the actual wheel and scroll through the alphabet. Frankly, when you're putting in an address, I think the most common way to do it is with your voice, because first of all, it's very easy, and second of all, it's kind of hands-free. So when you're driving down the road and you need to go somewhere, it's obviously not a good idea to be using this. And when the vehicle is in motion, it'll actually lock you out from using the system, so that you really want to use the voice recognition system. So in the destination menu, there is the Places function. And Places will help you find like the nearest gas station or restaurant or anything like that. But that's also where you can access the Zagat guide. By going through this system, you'll be able to choose, let's say, your favorite restaurant and see their 30-point rating. It gives you kind of a sample of that restaurant's ambiance and all of that stuff. And of course, you can sort them by name, distance, etc., etc. So when you pull up a listing, it will give you its location, of course, and you can navigate to it, and additional information. So let's go to Place Info. And here you can see this is their food rating, decor rating, service rating, and the average cost for a meal. And from here, I can also use the Bluetooth feature to call them on the phone and make a reservation. So let's fire up the voice commands to give you an idea of how the system interacts with you.
Would you like to access phone, navigation, information?
Navigation.
Navigation. Please say destination home.
Address.
Address. What state, please? For
California.
California.
Exit.
Exit. Voice recognition is canceled.
So you get an idea of how the system kind of asks you questions back and forth. Now there is a training mode which allows you to program the system specifically to your voice. So if you have kind of an accent or the system doesn't understand you very well, you can actually get it to learn your speech pattern, which is really convenient and it works really well. So when you're inputting an address, it's really quite convenient when you know what the address is and you're saying, okay, I want to go to 28471 Marguerite Parkway. But what happens when you know the name of the place where you're going, but you don't know what the address is? Totally common, right? Let's say you're going out to a restaurant. You know what the restaurant name is, but you have no idea what the address is. Now the QX80s actually are connected to the internet through kind of a satellite uplink, so to speak. If you see there is a feature called Connected Search here, you can search for things and it will retrieve information from kind of an online source and bring that information back into the car. So let's say we wanted to go to a hotel in Las Vegas or something like that. We could put in the name of the hotel and then it will fetch that information, bring it back to us. That's really one way to use the system, but there are other ways as well. Every Infiniti comes with a service called Infiniti Personal Assistant, which is an 800 number that you can call from your cell phone from anywhere in the world, whether you're in your car or in New York, and talk to a specially trained agent, basically, who can do a multitude of things for you. One, they can look up information. So let's say you're in a new town and you're looking for a restaurant to go to and you have no idea what's around, but you have some idea as to what kind of food you want to eat or what kind of ambiance level that you're looking for. Yes, you can use the connected search feature. Yes, you can use the Zagat guide that's built into the Infiniti QX navigation system, or you can talk to a real human being. So you push the button for the connection and it'll dial out for you, or you can use your cell phone and you can call directly to one of the agents. Then, it obviously comes through the Bluetooth or through the car speakers, and you can ask them questions like, hey, what's the best restaurant in town? What they can do is they can give you a bunch of options and then program the destination for you. So they'll actually send that destination to the car, which is great. I mean, you can actually have a real conversation with a real human being who has access to the world at their fingertips. That personal assistant can do a whole lot more, though, than just check, restaurants around in the area. They can get you tickets to the ball game. They can tell you what the weather is going to be like. They can even order flowers for your spouse. If you like, they can keep your credit card number on file, and you can have them do pretty much anything you would have your personal assistant do for you. Really quite convenient. I love that feature. As far as the Infiniti connection system goes, though, there are a whole host of kind of connected features that the system can do for you. So, for example, the system is equipped with like alarm notification, airbag deployment notification. If you're in an accident, someone somewhere is checking up on you to make sure that you're okay. They can call into the car and make sure that nobody's hurt. If nobody responds, they can call for police, ambulance, etc., and get help to you immediately. Other than that, they have the ability to do like a remote lock-unlock of the car, just in case for whatever reason you misplaced your key, but you still have your cell phone. You can call to your personal assistant. They can arrange all of that for you. And additionally, you can set kind of some like vehicle, environment boundaries and that sort of thing. Let's say you are loaning your QX80 to your teenager because they're going out to some kind of school event. Well, you can set speed warnings. You can set a kind of a radius to where if the car leaves that area, you'll get a text notification on your phone. Basically just some kind of like neat gadgets where the car is actually talking to kind of the internet at large, really for the first time ever. And that's kind of a new experience when you jump into a brand new car. But it really opens up the automotive world quite considerably. So let's talk about entertainment for a second here in the QX80. The system, of course, comes with FM, AM, and XM satellite radio, with a free trial subscription, of course, and you can run either a disc, CD, MP3 disc, or a DVD from the front-loading slot player here. Then you can also use the auxiliary ports. So either you have an external device that you want to plug in using those yellow, white, and red RCA cables, or you can plug in a USB drive that has DivX video loaded onto it, and you can run all of that through the system here. Now, the audio system, the standard audio system, is a 13-speaker system. This particular car that we're in has the Deluxe Touring package, so it has an upgraded 15-speaker Bose audio system that actually has 2 subwoofers inside. And the audio quality is like concert or theater quality sound, which really resonates with the whole grand experience of the QX80. What I like about the system is that all of the buttons are really quite clear and very simple to get to. So volume, tuning, all of your presets, they're actually still buttons as opposed to some complex, kind of touch interface or something like that where you have to, scroll a wheel and push 10 different knobs and touch on the screen before you can get to like your favorite radio station. It's all really just at the push of a button still, so that's quite convenient. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions, please contact us at infinitimv.com, or you can ask in the comments section. We check in with those regularly and answer all the time. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.